今天再看一个美国PGA 职业教练亲自示范指导网友挥杆。我们还是先放教练的讲解，然后我再补充一下。
I got into my golf posture, and I wanted to just go from here to P2, boop, just like that. And I turned my hips a little bit, but I turned my chest, and my arms just stay right and connect to my chest. See, my hands and my arms are going around.
Yeah.
They should never go like that, right? That would be, like I said, too much arms and hands. And then while they're doing that, it gets a little tough and tricky with the club face because, you know, these are all ball and socket joints. They're easy to move. And so then that screws the face up, right? So if I wanted to swing something around me, like when I stand up, that'd be the equivalent of going like this now if the ball was out there. You know, like you'd want to swing the club around you. So look what my hands and arms are doing. As I turn, they're going on an arc, inward, right? They don't go out like that, right? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You'd be like this and then go. It's the same thing, it's just we're bent over. So the guy, you know, that's the saying, he kind of goes like that, right? When we get that club going back, we're seeing a lot of hands and arms kind of disconnected or moving out away from the body. And then from there, the arms get lifted, and then we see some elbow separation at the top, and that's why we get that elbow out and that club kind of across that line as we get to the top and long. So we want to use our pivot to get our arms and hands and the club transported to the top of our swing. So we want to get our body, our hips turning, our chest turning, and then transporting our arms up here to the top like this. The club face is also getting open and going back because when we are moving our hands out and away, those wrists are starting to roll and starting to open the club face. So we're just putting a lot of pressure on getting all the way to the top here with just kind of the arms and the hands and the wrists moving the club away. So if we get set up and we move the ball or with the club away with our pivot, my arms and hands should be working around as I go back, not out and away from me, okay? So a good drill that we want to do is some wall drills. So we're gonna get set up at home. You don't need a club to start. And we're gonna have our tush just touching the wall, okay? So get into your setup, back into there, just get our tush touching the wall. Put our grip on like we'd be gripping a club, just no club. And you're gonna pretend there's a marker in this right pocket, and you're gonna turn, it's gonna draw a line going towards your imaginary target. As you're doing that, your chest is gonna be turning. So it's gonna be transporting your arms and hands around, and we're gonna try to get that chest turned and our body turned to where we can get maybe the right of that side of that right forearm and those right knuckles to get back and touch that wall, probably around like forehead height. So we wanna always feel like my hands and arms are working around and up and back, touching that wall in our backswing. So the other thing is when you go back and those hands are working out away from you and you start working yourself to the top, P4, those elbows really start to get separated. So something to enhance this a little bit too would be like a small ball or a balloon or something really high into your wrists right here, just above where you'd wear a watch. And so that way when you're doing it, you're turning and you're going to touch that wall, and now you can keep those elbows really close together. So we don't need them touching or anything, but like when those elbows start to get really far apart, right, we start getting that kind of flying right elbow and things like that. It also kind of helps or hurts for us to get those hands working far enough back, right? If we can keep those elbows a little closer and keep my pivot moving, then I can get my hands on the club a little further back. So again, small ball or a balloon between your arms, get on that wall, turn those hips, turn the chest, get those arms working around with the chest, and feel like you're trying to work towards that wall and keep that ball in there. So obviously if the elbows get far enough apart, we're gonna drop that thing, and then all of a sudden wrist positions and everything, gonna get the club working in spots we don't want. But really slow, maybe a couple seconds to the top, maybe hold it for a couple seconds. The wall's a little exaggeration. You don't need to touch it, but we want to get pretty close to it as we're working back, okay? And that's going to be your drill for a while to get that backswing in a good spot, and then just, come down the best you can from there.
这个挥杆主要还是上杆身体转动不够，手的动作太多。跟前几期不太一样的是，这个网友的手往前往外的太多。教练开始说的是，如果你是站直身子再转身的话，手臂很自然就能绕着身体转，往前再往外会非常的别扭。但是因为高尔夫挥杆我们是弯着上半身，就比较容易犯这个错。同时，由于这个往前往外的动作，上杆到了顶点的时候，右手的手肘容易打开的太多，动作也不好看。教练介绍的练习方法也是墙壁练习 wall drill， 跟上一期的类似，但是增加了一个小球夹在2个手腕中间。视频下面我会放上这种练习小球在亚马逊的链接。练习的时候不需要球杆，胳膊跟着躯干一起转动，到了顶点，右手小臂的外侧和手指关节尽量碰到墙壁。有点空隙没关系啊，如果这个时候右手肘往外打开了，手肘就碰到墙了，这个小球就会落到地上。所以说这个小球就是帮助你全程都把2个手腕靠在一起，不会往外去的太多。这里我也想说一点， Fred Couples 前世界第1大师赛冠军，很多人认为他的挥杆是职业里面最丝滑的，他在上杆顶点的右手肘就有点往外翻，他的2个手腕中间如果有一个小球的话，肯定是夹不住的。但是我觉得他整个上杆的过程都是胳膊跟着躯干的转动，这个右手肘的动作是最后一刻才有的，幅度也不大，而且这样做对他来说没有问题，不代表对我们业余爱好者来说就不会有问题。我们还是应该尽量按照标准的动作来练球。好，还是欢迎大家继续投稿，点赞关注老衲高尔夫频道。我们下一个网友挥杆视频再见。